and welcome again to another live. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all for supporting me and just being there every Sunday. It means so much to me. Today, I'm going to tell you about a prophet, somebody who his name is Paul Harvey. And what happened about in 1965, I think, he wrote a speech which is so prevalent today. And the speech is called If I Were the Devil. And it's basically looking at the schemes behind what the devil is doing in our lives now and how we can combat him and look at new ways of doing life, because we don't need to be manipulated or gaslighted anymore. It's time for us to stand up in unity against him. And so he's a really prophetic writer. He was a broadcaster. And so I'm going to go through his speech and we're going to analyze it while I'm reading it. So to start off, If I Were the Devil, a warning to America from Paul Harvey. If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the world with darkness. This for me resonates with nations fighting against each other, nearly speaking the same language, having the same customs, the religion. Like if you were to think of Russia and Ukraine, these two countries, they're both Orthodox religions, and you've got two beautiful nations that are strong fighting each other. I mean, the devil's done a really good job of getting into our lives, and it's like dividing people that, it's nationality and religion, they're just about the same, but he's found a way to divide us. We're going on to the next one. And I'd take a third of the real estate and a fourth of the population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple, now for me, this reminds me of a lot of nations, and especially now in Europe, a lot of our land, our farmers' land, are being taken over because of the taxes that the government's putting on the land. And this shows to me how farmers are not, they're not being able to survive. And it's been in the news that they're trying to make us eat bugs. And it says here 4/4 of the population is going to die, and that's and what's happened with the pandemics and a whole lot of the sicknesses that are and it says the last line that the ripest apple, he wouldn't be happy until he eats the ripest apple on the tree. And so here the devil is trying to get us. He won't be happy until he manages to manipulate us, because with each person, he's getting stronger and stronger. And so we're going on to the next one. It says, so I'd set about, however necessary, to take the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of the serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered with Eve, do as you please. Now, this for me shows that we do not have the knowledge, and we do not have the wisdom of God. We're nowhere near God. And we really, in order to survive as a nation, to be united, we have to work as a community. And what better place to go to your church, where you've got people that are joined together and working for truth. And so what's happened is, just as Eve thought she knew everything and took that bite of the apple from the knowledge of the tree, the serpent whispered to her. That's what the devil's trying to do to us now. He's trying to whisper into our ears, we don't need the church anymore. We can separate from the church. And, you know, we're believing in ourselves and not God. We're believing that we know. I mean, what do we know? We know the experiences that we've lived through, and they might be from a dysfunctional past. So we really don't know. But this, I find, that whispering in the ear, you know, that ego, just like Eve listened to the serpent, we are being manipulated, and we're being deceived. That's what we're being deceived. That's the word I was looking for. So going on to the next paragraph, to the young I would whisper, the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man, listen to this one, man created God. Man created God, and not the other way round. I would confide that what's bad is good, and what's good is square. And the old, I would teach them to pray after me, Our Father, who art in Washington. Oh my gosh, that's a pretty big one. So what we are being told, maybe on TV or maybe on, we're being told to believe in angel cards or whatever kind of cards. We're being told to follow a lie and live our lives as a lie. But the only truth we're going to find is through the Bible. And, you know, and it says that I love this where it says here, let's just analyze this. And what is good is square. And so by picking up the Bible or by listening to the word of the Lord, that is not square, because that is the path that we should be traveling. Have you seen like Doreen Virtue? She's the one that created the angel card, and she is preaching to us, do not believe them, because they'll take us down a downward spiral. Let's go to the next part. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate the authors in how to make lurid literature exciting, so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction and tranquilize the rest with pills. We're living in a pretty corrupt society where they're pushing a lot of dirty movies on young children through Netflix and through, and sort of polluting children's minds. Even in cartoons, we can see things that are just not right. And literature and things that children are exposed to, they haven't got the maturity to deal with that kind of content. And so many of us are taking pills to try to numb the feelings that we're feeling. We're scared to face our fears and head on and deal with life. And so we've found the bottle, we've found pills, we've found pornography, technology, all these things as a way to stop feeling and go numb. And yeah, going on to the next line. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. How can I go on? It's just bringing tears to my eyes. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd mesmerize media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect discipline emotions. Just let those run wild, sniffing dogs. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug sniffing dogs and metal detectives at schools. Yeah, this is true. I mean, children, it's a lot of parents are letting the children rule, and children don't know. They need to be disciplined. They need to learn the truth. They need to be educated in truth to feel how other people feel. It's not just about me, me, me. And in order to get ratings, media are portraying things that young people are watching that is just so bad for children and so bad for us. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I know of children who have gone to psychologists, and at the age of 12, 13, they've had a gender change. They've changed gender because maybe at school they were in a group where they were coaxed into changing their gender, and then later as they grow, they're unable to go back to what they were born, and then they can't have children anymore, and so many suicides are happening. So many suicides are happening because of the children who are confused and told that that they know what they want at that young age. They don't. So we'll go on. I'll just see where we are now. Within a decade, I've had prisons overflowing and judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse and from schoolhouses, and then from the House of Congress. And in its own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and defy science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and children and church money. If I were the devil, I would symbolize Easter as an egg and the symbol of Christmas as a bottle. This is so true now. I mean, Christmas is not just about buying presents and eating and promoting alcohol and promoting all these things and just getting drunk. We can't find Christmas in a bottle. We have to find Christmas with the birth of hope, Jesus Christ. And also where it says Easter as an egg. We've become eggs. That's what we are, eggs. Christmas is not about eggs. It's about Jesus Christ, who suffered and took on our burdens and died for us. And that's what we should be living our lives through his eyes and trying to become better, to show him that we are worth his death for us so we can have life. And then it says here, if I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want, until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. You know, it's such a beautiful thing when you see people who work really hard and then they get rewarded for it. For the hard worker who wakes up every morning, the farmer who gets up at 5:30 every morning, or the person who gets up at 5:30, the business people or the people that work in hospitals, or teachers or carpenters or whoever, who get up every morning and work really hard, a decent day's work, and they're successful and they get rewarded for it. But what's happening now is people are just getting rewarded that want, and they don't know the meaning of working hard. They don't put in the effort. And so money there's no incentive. It sort of takes away the traditional hardworking person that morally works hard for money and gets rewarded for it. So as we go on, and what do you bet? I could get whole states to promote gambling as a way to get rich. I would caution against extremes of hard work and patriotism in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned and swinging is fun. And what you see on TV is a way to be, and thus I could undress you in public and lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cures. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep on doing what he's doing. Yeah, this is a big one. I mean, so many diseases now that people are getting, AIDS and herpes, and there's so many diseases. We've just taken away marriage, and we've got multiple partners, and there's no patriotism, there's no family left, there's no coming together. It's just confusion and trouble. And marriage is not outdated. It's a beautiful thing. And so many children, I mean, if you've seen The Sound of Freedom, so many children are stolen from their families. They're being kidnapped, and they've been taken to other countries and used in the sex trade. It's time for us to unite. It's time for us to get together and work as a globe against the manipulation and the gaslighting of the devil. It's time for us to come together. Enough is enough. We've got to fight against all of this. I've been watching Stranger Things, and it's a movie, it's a series on Netflix, and it just shows you how the demons are able to get stronger as soon as they get each person, they get stronger. And so by getting each individual, they become stronger until they get really big, and then they take over. So it's about time that we work for the light. We work for the light, and we get stronger as a nation, and we get as a globe, not as a nation. You know, first in the family, then as a community, and then as a nation, and then as a, you know, as a globe. You know, we can do it. Right. Thank you, guys, for who is watching. Hi, Emilia. Hi, thank you. Thank you for watching. Konstantinos, thank you. And John, good evening to you. Good evening to you, John. Um, yes, Richard, they are here to test our faith. In God we trust. Well, definitely. I believe we will win in the end, Richard, because always the good prevails. I totally believe that the good will prevail. That's 100% true. But we need to get together as a whole globe, and that's what Dare to Begin is about. That's why I love it, you guys, because we can get together as a community all over the world. Yes. Thank you for watching, you guys. Emilia, Konstantinos, John, and Richard. I love you guys heaps. Have a lovely week ahead. And that's it from me. I'm just going to say peace, love, and rainbows. And remember, you guys, live your lives, man. And work for the good. Work for the light. Love you guys. Bye.